BG is back, and today we are bringing you a new series using Zoom during this circuit breaker period in Singapore. For those of you who don't know, Singapore is currently fighting COVID-19, just like many other countries, and from early April 2020 to 1st of June 2020, we are kind of on a semi-lockdown situation, and our government called it circuit breaker. So in that situation, there are some things that we can and cannot do. We can't go out. There's no barber, so that explains all the hair, very exciting looking hair. So but anyway, if you are watching this and you are still fighting COVID, please do remember to wash your hands, stay safe and stay home. Practice social distancing. Be responsible for yourself and others. If you want to play board games, do it online for now. We will resume face-to-face board game in time to come. Anyway, as mentioned, we are still trying to find a new name for this series. So if you have any ideas, do leave it in the comments below. Today with us, we have 4 special guests. So
hello.
Hello. Hi.
Okay.
Hello.
Anyway, it's always awkward in this kind of Zoom based web conferencing. But anyway, so today with us we actually have Geoffrey. Geoffrey is an aspiring board game designer. We have Jimmy. Jimmy is an avid social board gamer. We have Steve. Steve is a board game designer from Capital Game Studio. We did a previous interview with him some time back, so you can find the links somewhere. We will link it over here. And last but not least, we have Yijie. Yijie is the board game designer of Going Postal. So if you haven't seen his game, do check it out. I'll put the links in the description box below. So in this new series, what we will be doing is we will be kind of doing a top 5 favorite, and today we are actually going to be doing our top 5 favorite Asian design games. Asian design games. Yeah. But I think Jimmy want to start first, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, I want to kind of like, I think for me, I'm just coming from a point of view as a Singaporean, you know, how did I caught onto the whole board game fever? I think every Singaporean, I think their first game that they ever touch on is probably Snake and Ladders, Monopoly, Scrabble, I think, and of course Jenga. I think these are the basic 4. There's nothing else that comes to my mind. So I'm sure there are others, but I feel these are like people can remember and can relate to. And also I think there's this aeroplane game. I do not know what's the Chinese name for it, but I remember it's always about dice roll and moving on the board. I think the board game culture really grew when we started having board game cafes almost 13 years ago. I was 18 back then, and then I remember it was like just really crazy. Like everyone like started bringing around like one board game inside their bag. So I had still up to date. I still have my first Saboteur up to today. It's really like in very bad condition because it's overplayed. But you know, I think back then it was like Saboteur, Bang. Those were the popular titles that you know that people were playing around. And then and people like they kept going to board game cafes as well. And then people started hosting at home. So like for me, I started doing that. Like as you can see, I have a collection. It's not like I went to buy everything Control A, Control X into my cupboard. I didn't do that. I bought like I was a student, so I could only afford like maybe every 3 months one board game, and I just slowly accumulated. So, and my wife and I are we quite love board games because we feel that there's like if you buy a board game, to be honest, the ROI is there because you get to play with friends, and you know it's always there. Like even I think this game is like 13 years or something, but I can still use it, and I got kids, and you know I can use it to play with it. So so personally I feel that board games have it started from then. And then I felt that there's some phases because for me, I host friends in my place and play a few games. So I felt that after which there were some bigger titles, socially speaking. Like for example, I think Avalon came in. Then Codenames was like quite popular. Like certain titles kind of pop up. and then like you say, oh, I didn't know that, and I just want to pick something up.
Yeah. I think in
And
Singapore there are a few genres that are more popular than others.
yeah.
Probably a reflection of the society or where we are as a society in today, like in today's timing. So, I mean, obviously different. I mean, you would know if you have been playing board games. And I'm not talking to the four of you. I'm talking to the general audience. That yeah, I mean, there is always that distinction between the Euro games, the Ameritrash, and so on and so forth. So the thing is that every culture has a certain kind of flavor of game that they like. Just that maybe in Singapore we haven't found that actual flavor for everyone to massively design games for yet. We are still trying to mix around and experiment different things within our culture. Yeah. So I'm guessing, Jimmy, then you won't be sharing with us your favorite Asian games, right?
No, but I'm really excited to hear from the rest of the speakers here because, to be honest, I only met a few of them here, like a month. I mean, before circuit breaker, and I was like really shocked. I said, "Oh my god, I didn't know there was like a community of board game designers in Singapore. If I knew, right, I would have like gone and play, and then I would bought their games as well. Because I think it was a missed opportunity for me. Like I was searching in my mind, I hope there were people like me in a sense that who love board games and stuff like that. So I'm really, really excited to actually hear from them. I didn't know there was an Asian list as well. So this to me is an eye opener. And after they rank their games, I would definitely want to play with them. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you can take it as a recommendation from us. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Especially if you hear any crossover from us, you know, this game, okay, it hits multiple. So okay, going proper in the ranking of top 5 favorite Asian design games. I'll take the lead. So one of my favorite Asian design game, I don't know if any of you have this in your list. It's a 2-player game.
Oh no.
It's from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
The version I got is published by a Taiwanese publisher, and it's Hanami Koji, or it's also known as Yijie Academy. The male and the female version, depending on which floats your boat. So yeah, the theme of the game is more of a I pick you choose kind. To me, why I enjoy it, it's a very quick game, extremely addictive. The first time I played it, I think we went on to play like 6 rounds straight. Because we just wanted to find out how the mechanics work. And the thing is that because you can't, I don't know, it reached a stage that I haven't found a strategy that I always win. I don't know for you guys, but for some games, like if you play certain strategy, you have a higher percentage chance of winning in the game. But for Hanami Koji, I haven't found it yet. So to me, as long as there's a game that there's no absolute winning formula, something like chess I mean, traditionally there are so many ways that you can play chess. Yeah, so to me, 2-player game, Hanami Koji, I will play anytime. Any one of you want to show me play Hanami Koji? Let's go. Yeah, so that's my one thing just to highlight, we are not ranking this in terms of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but it's just the top 5 that's in our mind. So yeah, don't be compelled to list them and then later on you say, hey, how come this game is better than the other? That's not okay. Yeah, so we are just saying our top 5 favorite. So that's from me. So Geoffrey, take us away.
So okay, let me start with a very light game. All right, it is a Japanese game designed by this Japanese designer called Yu. Okay, publisher Chia. The title is Songbirds in English. In Japanese, it's called Birdie Fight. Okay, so it is an area control influenced by majority abstract card game. Okay, the theme is about a bunch of cute birds acting like gangsters or the mafia, trying to establish dominance in each row and column within a 5x5 grid. All right, so each turn is very simple. Okay, you have 4 colored birds. Okay, each players will take turns placing a bird card from hand to anywhere within the 5x5 grid. Okay, so when the round ends, when you have 1 card left on your hand, okay, and that single 1 card, right, the final card, right, okay, reveals a a color of the bird. For example, I reviewed the blue color bird, which means that, okay, you are picking the blue color bird for your scoring. Okay, so there is some sort of a hand management mechanism. All right. Okay, so we start scoring according to each row, each column, and each of these row and columns, right? Okay, they have different scoring based on the random tokens placed, okay, during the setup. All right. So what do I like about this game? Okay, first things first, it's easy to teach for game hosts. It's very easy to learn. Okay, it's just basically each player's turn plays a card. That's it. Okay, yeah, and then you just roughly have to explain, okay, how to score for each row and column. It's very easy to teach and very easy to learn. Okay, I love the irony, right, between the graphics. They are all bunch of cute birds. Okay, but in the gameplay, right, they have this aggressive domineering behavior, okay, whereby, you know, it really looks like these cute birds are, they're a bunch of gangsters, you know, they're a bunch of mafia, you know. Yeah, so the irony, right, okay, could make it very hilarious, right, for the game host to, you know, share some, you know, some funny story, you know, when you introduce a game. Okay, you can also, it is also good that, you know, you can able to plan your decisions to play a card, you know, based on a long-term strategy. I mean, you need to consider, okay, how I'm going to score. You need to consider, okay, my final card, which is my final card I'm going to pick, so that, okay, I can choose a type of bird for me to score. Okay, so of course the game also adds other variants, like, you know, there are some unique birds, and these unique birds, for example, like crow and owl, all right, they do have some special abilities where you can play according to advantage. Okay, and this game is a very light game. It's a quick, you know, less than half an hour game, so it's very good for, it's a very good gateway game. Okay, gateway game is a, you know, it's a introductory game, you know, for those who are new to board gamers. Yeah, so, you know, so I find that the game mechanism is quite interesting for new gamers to be exposed to. Yeah, so Songbirds, English, Birdified, Japanese version. This is my one of the 5 games I recommend.
So next we have Steve. Steve, you want to take us away with your first pick?
Okay, so my first pick for this list was actually very easy. So it's this nice little game called Night Clan. It's a very small Japanese design game. Hold on. The designers is Y Ohashi, and is published by Domina Games. So in this game, right, basically, each player is like a very rich noble, and what is happening is that there is this troll that is coming to kidnap or rather trying to come and kidnap your 7 daughters and to steal your riches. So the aim of the game is to hide your daughters and your riches in the various locations in the town, so that the troll can't get to them. Okay, so it's almost like a area control game where players are playing cards to different locations, and some cards are placed face up and some cards are placed face down. And each of them have different abilities, but it's a very light game. It's just maybe 20 minutes, and once everyone has finished playing all their cards, then the game will end, and they will check for points. So how the scoring system works is that for all your daughters that you successfully stashed away, you score a point. Then all your riches, you score 2 points, and the troll will take away everything that is in one location. Okay, so what I like about this game is that it's very quick, it's very simple, but it's actually a very deep, and you can think a lot, and it rewards a lot of planning during the game. So actually a friend bought this game for me, and I didn't really like know what it was about. So when I tried it out, I really liked it. So yeah, so Night Clan, great game. Check it out if you can. Actually it's quite old, like 2014, but still check it out. Yeah.
So yeah, Yijie, you're next.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the game I would recommend first is kind of mainstream. It's Machikoro. Yeah, I think it's a very good introductory game, because like I like this game a lot because I can play with my nephews and all that. I bought the deluxe version for my nephew like 4 years ago, like, and like every Christmas, right, we'll still play it. Like, we'll go over to his house and he'll still enjoy playing it. So it works a bit like what's that game called? Catan, right? Where you roll a die and then things happen. But yeah, so it's about building a city. Yeah, I think the pictures are very cute lah. So for like kids, right, it's very easy for them to get into it lah. And my nephew is like primary 2. Yeah, he started when he was like primary 2. Then now he's like primary 6, I think. Yeah. So one thing about Machikoro is there's like a few different things you can do. There's the blue cards, the red cards, purple cards, and the green cards. So there are like so like red cards will happen on other people's turn, blue cards happen on everyone's turn. Oh sorry, yeah, and then green cards only on your turn, then you get the resources. So it's quite luck based, but I think like kids will enjoy it lah. For me, the important thing is that it must be enjoyable. It's fun to play like kids as well lah. But it's not super high thinking, but I think it's quite fun lah. So I would recommend that first. So Machikoro by Masao Suganuma. Yeah, that's my recommendation.
I almost put Machikoro in my list.
You didn't put Machikoro?
I didn't. Yeah, because I kind of burst out my Japanese game quota in what I planned in my mind.
Oh.
So Machikoro was very close. Actually, the funny story with Machikoro was that was one of the first few games I played when I was reintroduced into board games mainstream. So I think that was like the second game I played in the meetup. And then from that moment onwards, I wanted to buy the game already. But then, like Jimmy said, I was a student. Then Machikoro at that point of time, locally very hard to find. I had to, either I ship it in or I have to buy it at a very high cost locally. So yeah, it took some time, and the version of Machikoro I have now is the Bright Lights Big City, which I no longer play. But anyway, yeah, it's a fun game. I agree with you. It's a very good starter for people who you want to attract them into gaming. Yeah,
I completely forgot about Machikoro.
How can you forget?
Machikoro was never on my top 5 list.
I have one copy. I bought the same copy as yeah.
No, the problem with Machikoro is you need to get the expansion. Without the expansion, it's
I did buy both.
Yeah. Most important is get the harbor expansion. That was the most important one.
Yeah, I was weighing it out. Then I just decided to buy the Product Big City because it comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but now they have the legacy one,
The legacy one. So I haven't ventured into any legacy games myself yet. So maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. So moving on, I'm next again, and my next game is a Taiwanese game. It's the second edition of a game. It's Da Dao Cheng.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a 1 to 4 player game. It's a kind of like a movement tracking game. You flip this. Your task is you are actually a foreign trader. You are trying to be the most prestigious trader of Da Dao Cheng. And during the game, you'll be flipping and swapping resource discs so that you obtain resource and you either trade them with the world or you spend them to develop your own city. So for me, it's a very fun strategy game because the mechanics happen is such a way that only the central board is player dependent. That means we will wait for each other. But then whatever happens after that, when you get a resource, you do it at your own time. Because the action takes place so much in the middle board. So for me, the one other reason why I picked this game, other than the fact that it's a slightly heavier strategic game, is that it has solo mode. So I want to recommend this now during Circuit Breaker because you should play games on your own at this stage. Like if you want to play tabletop games on the table. So yeah, so for me, Da Dao Cheng second edition, it's important that you take the second edition because the first edition is a different gameplay. So for me, second edition, Da Dao Cheng is my pick.
All right, so it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I would like to give credit to one of the Singaporean games. Woo!
Woo.
All right. So okay, if I were to recommend one game for my foreign friend who came over to Singapore, all right, and maybe probably want to give him a, to buy as a gift back to their homeland. Okay, one of them would be Overbooked by Daryl Chow, publisher Random Skill Games. Okay, so Overbooked is one of the games that I would like to recommend to my foreign friends. Okay, why? Okay, anyway, Overbooked, right, is about booking flight seats for various types of passengers. Okay, it is a puzzle color pattern building game mechanism. Okay, so basically in each turn, all right, players would take a passenger card, okay, and place the passengers represented by different color tokens, okay, and place it into these passenger seats, okay, according to the pictorial instructions. Yeah, so you have to place this color this way, that color that way, okay, in this seats, all right, and the cost of cards varied. So the rightmost card is for free. You need to pay one voucher per card towards the leftmost. So obviously the outer leftmost, okay, will be the most expensive one. All right. So along the way, okay, you can earn voucher cards by taking cards, okay, that has voucher tokens. Yeah. So at the end of the game, right, you earn points based on how the colors are placed at around the seats. Okay, and one interesting factor is you can also kick off previous passengers. Okay, when you put in new passenger tokens. Okay, at the same seat. All right, and these kick off passengers, right? Okay, will give you penalty points. All right, so what I like about this game, right, is yes, it is also easy to teach, easy to learn. Okay, you also need to strategically plan ahead on what are the card choices you need in order to complete a certain pattern of colors. On you need to plan on how to score. Okay, you need to plan on how are you going to make space for other passengers. Okay, and then there'll be newly refreshed cards along the way. Okay, so that you can plan ahead. Yeah. You also need to learn how to manage resources and pick the best card during each turn. Okay, so it allows you to think of how to maximize. Think able to teach you how to manage resources. So basically it's a very interesting gameplay. Okay, that involves like something like a Tetris shape placing, not exactly Tetris, but pattern placing. Okay, but you score based on the color patterns. Okay, so yeah, so this is one of the game that I find it very interesting, um, and very interesting for many new gamers, and I find it it's 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 very fun, in my point of view. Yeah. Although some of the cons I like to explain, right, is the rulebook might be a bit too wordy and need more visual instructions because people mostly are visual learners. Yeah. So if your rulebook are mostly full of text, okay, yeah, you might turn off some people. Okay. Yeah. And one thing to take note of this game is to take note of players with analysis paralysis because there are many cards to consider because so you might attract a few players, or not say attract. You might end up, having a few players having this analysis paralysis situation, yeah, for this game, yeah. But in overall, I will recommend this game, okay, as a Singaporean game.
Hey, first entry from Singapore. So Steve, you're up.
All right, so my next game is also a Singaporean design game. But it's not Overbooked. It's actually this game called Cat Adventures by Isaac Tan. So basically, what Cat Adventure is about is that you're a bunch of cats, or rather you play with a bunch of cats that are in like a D&D sort of universe, and they're exploring this dungeon with you want to gain the most points after the end of the dungeon by playing cards. Like you'll be playing different cats. They are of different classes like warrior, mage, rogue, etc. And you're trying to gain loot, fight monsters, so on and so forth. You know, the typical fantasy D&D style. And by the end of the game, whoever has the most points win. So what I really like about Cat Ventures is that for a local design game, it's actually really good, and there's some good decision making points during the game, such as when do you want to upgrade your card, and when you upgrade your cards, do you choose to go all in on one type of scoring? Oh, sorry, I think I forgot to mention is that the cards that you play also have a certain type of scoring, and that determines how you score at the end of the game. So yeah, so those there's something really interesting to me, and it seems very well thought out. And the art is cute, so that's always a plus point. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. Pretty good game. There's a expansion, I believe, called Royals or something, but I haven't tried that yet. Base game is good. Yeah, Cat Ventures.
Okay. So Yijie?
Yeah, okay. If we're going to the Singapore one, right, I'll do my Singapore one. And I'm going to be shameless and self-plug. I'm going to put my own game. Going Postal is my recommendation. Yeah, anyway, yeah, it's, okay, so why actually I like it quite a lot. Some people don't like it, some people like it. But reason why I like it is it's played in about 10 to 15 minutes. And it's quite a quick play. There's some deduction you have to deduce about what other people are doing. And as you get more information, right, you get to make more decisions. And although there is quite a big element of luck, it would seem, but for kids, right, a lot of the games I recommend is actually because kids like to play them. So yeah, Going Postal is one of them. It's what you are is you're just a delivery man, right, trying to deliver parcels. So you go around, you'll eventually deliver to everybody, and people also deliver to you. So it's a hidden action card game. And some people have told me it's abstract, but I did not plan it that way. By the way, Going Postal is my recommendation.
All right.
Okay. So it's back to me, right?
Oh, it's back to you, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it's back to me. So this is my Singapore game entry. And unfortunately the designer is not here. Yeah, the game that is in my list of favorite Asian design games is this game called Rats to Riches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's from it's published by Essential Games. The game was actually, I think the idea was coined in UK, but the person is a Singaporean. The designer is a Singaporean. He's now also back in Singapore, working in the public sector, so he must be a Singaporean in a way. So the game is about you are a rat in a sewer, and your objective is try to reach $100 or 100 swindles in the currency of the game. So it's the concept of the game is a take that set collection game where you upon collecting certain sets, you can actually exchange it for money or exchange it for swindle that eventually helps you reach your 100 points or $100 to trigger the end game. One thing I like about the game is that, I mean, for me, sometimes some games I feel that when we play them, in the middle, they reach a point where it slows down because it's either everybody has too much resource or that the game board doesn't reward you fast enough. But for this game, they actually kind of split themselves into like a two-age mode. Yeah, where they have the starting ones, and then after that you go for your premium things. So the things that you can buy to trigger the end game gets faster and faster towards the end of the game. So to me, sometimes when I'm playing this game, the game plays 2 to 5 or 2 to 6. So when a game drags on, there will be players that obviously when you sit there, you can tell that they are uninterested. But whenever I play this, especially with people who don't usually play games, I see that the interest level. Your job is to collect cheese, then use the cheese to buy cards or buy items. Then eventually you're trying to get money. So you use money, convert them into cheese convert into items convert back into money. So it's like a flow, yeah. So that is my pick from Singapore, Reds to Riches.
Okay.
Geoffrey.
Right. So for my third game, okay, it's a Japanese game called Metro X by Hisashi Hayashi, okay, publisher Okazu. Okay. So Metro X is a puzzle-like paper and pen or pencil game with numbers. Okay. So the theme, right, is based on the Tokyo and Osaka's railway system. Okay. So how we play this game? Very simple. Okay. Each turn there will be a random number card drawn and revealed to all the players. Okay. So for example, okay, the number card is number 2. Okay. Then from the player board, okay, you have to cross out shapes, okay, within a certain railway line. And each railway line is represented by colors. So for example, if you see a number 2 card, okay, you have to decide which are the 2 shapes you have to cross out, okay, in line, okay, so within the same railway line, all right. So so why we want to cross out the shapes? Okay, you cross out the shapes, right, to complete a colored Japanese rail line. So once, okay, you completed crossing out the entire shapes in the rail line, okay, the first person to complete will earn the first place scoring, while the rest of players, right, okay, you earn the standard lesser score. All right. It's roughly around a half an hour game. Okay, at the end of the game, there will also be penalties for empty and uncrossed stations. Okay, there are also limitations according to how many numbers, okay, for each railway line. All right, so there is a lot of good planning on how to maximize each number card. Okay, there is also planning. How I'm going to make use of intersections or train interchange stations. And also you can learn how to manage probabilities. All right, so I find it is a very, very interesting game, okay, in which so for this game, right, there are 2 versions. The Japanese version should be the paper and pencil version, okay. The English version is the whiteboard. I mean, it's a erasable marker version. Yeah. So either version, right, okay, it doesn't really matter. But if you get the paper and pencil version, right, okay, what I recommend is you laminate a few of those so that you can reuse them. Yeah, because it's all in a notepad. So try not to finish a notepad. Yeah, it's good to laminate some of those so that you can keep on reusing them. Yeah, all right. Yeah. So maybe what some of the cons. I can think of one con. So one of the con is this game might result in lesser interaction because players are playing on their own maps. Yeah. So it is, but fortunately it's a quick game. Okay. So and depending on the game host, okay, you still can make the game a lot more engaging. Yeah. But however, Metro X, right, is still one of the game that I recommend, okay, for players who are looking for something that is very interesting in terms of gameplay.
I want to add a bit on Metro X because it also almost made my list. Yeah. I mean, the reason why I almost put it in is because it's also a game that you can play solo. Technically, it's 1 to 99 player. Like if you read the box, they say you can play 1 to 99. Technically, you can play infinite players. Yeah, and the way I play with my friends is that instead of laminating, right, I will actually take a photo of the map. We do it digitally, crossing out using. So at least you can undo. Because sometimes they cross out wrong station, fumbling over erasers is a bit troublesome.
Yeah.
Because within the turn, they undo what they thought wrongly, they planned wrongly. So yeah, so personally, I do it digitally. Like you can also use the laminate and whiteboard way, so you just erase away the marker. So whichever way works.
Yeah, but that's for the Japanese version. Yeah, the English version, right, is still they use erasable markers, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but the English version that I saw, they took away the stations. I thought they would have redeemed it something else, but they didn't. From Game Right, so oh well. So sometimes the original Asian version is the best version.
Yeah.
Okay, so Steve, we're back to you.
Alright, so my next game is from a Taiwan publisher. It's called Walking in Burano, designed by Wei Min Lin and published by Emperor S4. So Walking in Burano, right, is, well, exactly what it says. It's about a street in this place called Burano, which is somewhere in Venice. So what's famous about Burano is that it has all these, it has a very colorful houses along the street. So the game is also portrayed as such. And the aim of the game is to build your street of 5 houses. They are made out of all these different colors. So it's an open drafting game where players draft from the center and then they play to their own tableau to create their own houses, I guess. So what I like about the game is that for one thing, it is very aesthetically pleasing. For another, there's actually a lot of thinking points in the game, such as whether you want to take a certain card and whether you want to work towards a certain type of scoring. Because the only way to score in the game is by getting citizens or by getting tourists that have a very specific scoring opportunity, a type of scoring, such as perhaps the perhaps the mayor. They score for every pedestrian that is on the street. So if you have a lot of pedestrians, you want to take the mayor. But if you and there's also a limited number of each citizen. So if other people take that mayor before you, then you will lose that opportunity. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's about it. It's a fairly simple game, but it can get quite thinky. And the game ends when someone finish building a street of 5 houses. Then you do scoring from there. Another thing I like to mention about the game is that it is colorblind friendly. Because even though all the houses are based on color, there are small little icons on each of the cards that tells you what color group this card belongs to. So that's a very thoughtful thing I want to mention. Yeah. Walking Burano.
If we have a top 10 list, right, okay, that game will be one of the top 10 in my list. Yeah, so I also recommend that game. Yeah.
We barely miss your list lah. Just like many of the games that you're mentioning here, barely miss.
Yeah, barely.
So Yijie, what's your next one?
For my next one, it's quite a new game, Electropolis from Taiwan. Nobody else has it on the list? Oh, no.
I
Oh.
I wanted to put more Singapore games in because I have been playing more Singapore games, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Electropolis is like it's a tile placement game lah, but it's about energy. So you want to build the most efficient energy plants, but you also must be careful of your pollution, because if your pollution gets too high, right, then you'll get negative points. So you have to try to like power up your city, but not get too many negative points. I think the thing is quite interesting. The way it works. There's also like these few cards at the start to determine where you can place your thing. So you have to actually plan right from the start what the thing. So it's a bit more thinky than the other games on my list. But yeah, I do like Electropolis quite a lot. I think it came out last year, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So that's my recommendation. So be a quick one. Okay, done.
All right.
So,
Just a spoiler. Okay, Electropolis was my. I mean, Electropolis is one of the game in my list.
ah,
Oh, okay,
Yes,
okay.
so
So
we
we have
have our first crossover.
first crossover.
first crossover, and seems like it will be a popular game. Unboxing video, I'll link it over here. So I also do some self plug. Yeah. Yeah. Personally, I like Electropolis a lot. I feel that it combines a lot of the elements of other games that I like into one game.
Yeah.
Tile play. It's a city builder tile placement. I like the way you select your starting player. It reminds me of Five Tribes. So it's like, to me, it's like a combination of all the elements of a lot of games I like. So yeah. Why I never put it on my list? The reason is because of this next game. The next game is a Singapore game as well, and for me to be describing the game is a bit weird. So I will introduce the designer himself to introduce his own game. So my next game is cryptocurrency.
Okay.
See the designer there flipping his eyes. Yeah, to me, personally, I enjoy the element of within the game that you take risks and then after that you try to manage back your risk. Because this is a game where you take loan and then you try to do things with the money you have. You hire people, you advance different different bots, and to me that element itself is enjoyable for me. I didn't really look at it as a financial literacy game. I merely look at it without the theme itself. The game is already quite fun for me. Yeah. So Steve, you want to add on or not? Is your own game on your list?
No, it's not. Okay, so cryptocurrency is basically something like a simulation game that is trying to simulate how mining and trading cryptocurrency works in the real world. So it's a bit of push your luck and market speculation, where the push your luck is in the mining of coins, where you have to set aside, dedicate a certain amount of energy, in a sense, or resources to try to mine coins. And of course, you want to use as little as possible to get the most profit. Yeah, so that's the push your luck factor. Of course, you can always there's always a way that you can have a confirm get the reward one, but of course players will want to spend as little as possible. So that's the push your luck factor. Then for market speculation is another strategy that players can use, where you buy coins at a low value and then sell them for much higher value for profit. So actually, I think the interesting part about cryptocurrency was the rumor mongering, where you play rumor cards on the different cryptocurrency bots, and that one of the coins would actually be a scam at the end of the game. So this one kind of kept players on their toes, where if they decided to hoard a very large amount of a certain type of coin, it may actually end up being worthless at the end of the game because it turns out to be a scam. Yeah. So yeah, that's cryptocurrency.
Yep, that's my pick.
Thanks, Sam.
Yep, Geoffrey next.
Okay, my next game, okay, is a Japanese game called Tulip Bubble, right, designed by Koyu. Okay, the publisher is Moa Ideas Game Design. Okay, so Tulip Bubble is a buy low, sell high economic game about tulips. Okay, you're buying tulips so that you can sell them in a bigger profit. All right. So you buy tulips in different colors based on their current price. Okay, and each turn, right? Okay, you get to select, the maximum of 3 tulips. Okay, and if more than one player selected the same tulip, right? Okay, there will be an auction happening. Okay, so you sell tulips for profits. Okay, when the price changes, you can also earn more profits, right? Okay, by selling a certain set to various collectors. Okay, so it is a very interesting gameplay, okay, that that also involves supply and demand, okay, and the concept of supply and demand is the one that actually changes the price along the way. All right. So the first person, who had the most money after the game end wins, or okay, the first person who bought this very rare and expensive black tulip wins the game. Okay. So this game is roughly more than 1 hour. Okay, let's say definitely more. I mean, yeah, maybe let's say 1.5 hour game in average. All right. So one good thing about this game that I really like, right? Okay, is the game components and pieces are in good quality. Yeah, and this speculation of prices, okay, how the market goes, okay, these factors are actually well designed as a gameplay itself. Yeah, so it is to me it is a very very it is one of the games that I actually look forward when I visit Japan. I actually bought this game in Osaka. So when I go to the Osaka board game stores, right? Okay, in fact, this is my number one choice that I will get. Yeah. So yeah, I really enjoy this game. Okay, it is a very good economic game. Some of the challenges I face for this game, right, is it is quite challenging to teach the game. Okay, because there are many sequential phases, right, and each phase has their own rules. Okay, so it might be a little confusing for new board gamers. Okay, I mean, depending on how well the game host explain the game, yeah, it could be challenging. But once you get the gist of it, right, okay, the whole game is enjoyable. Yeah. So Tulip Bubble is one of my top recommendations.
Okay, so Steve, back to you.
Oh, I'm back. Okay. Okay, so my next game, right, is is a game that I thought it was kind of pushing it about in this list of Asian design games because it's actually co-designed with, it's a husband and wife team, and the Asian part of the design team is the wife lah. So okay, so it's this game called Chai, as in the tea, yeah, Chai. So this game is about making tea and selling them to various customers. So what I like about this game is that it has a very interesting system in which you buy the ingredients for your tea. It is basically how should I put it? It's kind of like those mobile games where you match 3 and then you get a bonus or something. So how it works actually is that when you go to the market to buy ingredients, you get a certain amount of money, and then you get to choose which ingredient that you want to buy. So let's say you want to buy this ingredient, maybe strawberries. Then you choose strawberries. Then if there's any connecting tiles that are also of the same type, you get to buy all of them in the same action. And every time you do that, you will only pay the price of the most expensive tile. So let's say there is 3 tiles, 2 of them are like $1, and one of them is $2. You pay $2, you get all 3 tiles. Yeah. So after that, the rows will push down, and then you might make more connections. Oh, sorry. This is something similar to Potion Explosion, if you heard about the game. Yeah, so as you push down, you might make new connections, and then you can make more sets. You can buy and make combos, kind of this kind of thing. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting, and the theme was kind of cool, like tea, making tea. Don't think there's. I know there's a game about making coffee, but not sure about tea. But so the game art is fantastic as well. The game components are really well done. And it's quite a simple light game that you can play less than an hour. I would play this game when I introduce to my. I'll introduce this game to my more casual gamer friends, and it's also a very nice aesthetic. So I think it will go along well with them. Yeah. So Chai, check it out.
Yep, I will also recommend Chai as well. Definitely near to my list. Yep.
Chai a bit grey, a bit grey, like what Steve mentioned. In terms of whether we will classify it as an Asian design game. we will let it go for here for sure, but then it's just a little bit grey. But it's fine.
I mean, Chai is so Indian. It's great. It's great. You should take. Actually, I just received it like during the circuit breaker, so I only played it solo. Yeah.
Okay, but to me, like Chai is a relaxing game. Yeah, the reason why it's not inside, right? I mean, I initially I thought Chai is an Asian game. Yeah, until when I look at the BGG, okay, I realize it's not. Okay, but but to me, Chai is actually one of the relaxing game. You know, to me, it's not really a very stressful game. Yeah, so yeah, I kind of like it, and the word and the key itself is looks relaxing to me. Yeah. So
okay, so Yijie, we are back with you.
Okay. Okay, so for my next recommendation is from Korea, Click Clack Lumberjack. It's not really a board game, but more like a game lah. So there is this you start with a tree, right, and then you have to like slowly knock off like the bark from it without getting the trunk out lah. So they have like nine trunks or 9 segments. So you're using this axe, right, to go and knock off all the bark on the thing. So I think you have 2 tries to click clack and then get the bark to drop off. Yeah. And it's a really fun game for like kids and all that. So a lot of my games are actually for children or for kids. So my recommendation, so I'm trying to get all the different countries. So from Korea, right, mine is Click Clack Lumberjack. It's a very fun game. I think it's like 2 to 7 players. Yeah.
It sounds really fun. I'm gonna get it.
We have it at Basecamp. When it opens, you can go and check it out.
Anyway, I think it's being re-implemented by the designer Justin O as Bling Bling Gemstone. So it's kind of like similar concept because it's instead of wood, it's just gemstone. But I mean, it's kind of like the same game. Probably the Bling Bling Gemstone is like the 2nd edition with a bit of a change of the rules. I don't know. I don't know the game personally, so I won't comment too much there. But looks like something good for kids, and I want to add it into my Little Board Gamer series one day.
No, it's actually a very fun dexterity game. So if you like dexterity games, right, you might want to take a look at it. So yeah, and it's really like we've taught kids which are like 7 years old to play it. So I think it's a good game for them.
Okay, so the last one, my last game, I won't say it's last lah, but then last of my 5. This is the game where if I have friends from overseas who come and they want to bring a game back to kind of represent Singapore, this is probably what I will recommend to them. It's the lightest game. I think even lighter. Yeah, it's the lightest game in my 5. It's Chope. Chope. I think they renamed themselves recently. Yeah, but it's a game. It's a very simple, quick snatching game, card snatching game. Yeah. So simply put, what you have to do is you're supposed to choke using the tissue pack, just like how it is in our Singapore non-circuit breaker hawker center reservation system, where if you have a packet of tissue paper and then you put it on the table is yours, like you reserve it. So the game kind of recreates it, and you're trying to choke the tables, and then for you to score, your table needs to have food, and at the same time, if you actually have dessert, you can score bonus points. So that's like the system of a game. Yeah, so I like it purely because that is kind of like one of the first game I will bring into any any session just to get the atmosphere up. Because normally there'll be laughter, cards will fly, and it's just the kind of game that will bring up the atmosphere in any game, but in any group lah. Basically, I haven't seen a group that plays it and is passive. So yeah, Chope is my pick. Yeah, that's my pick. That's my fifth pick. And at this point in time, I want to bring your attention to where you can get games like Chope and cryptocurrency. So some of the Singapore game designers have actually come together and created Singapore Boardgame Design. So it's a Shopee site. I'll link the site below. If you're interested to get games for yourself during this circuit breaker time, check out the link, buy games there. You get it delivered to your home. Unfortunately, for now, it's Singapore only. And
okay. All right. Okay. So last but not least, one of my top picks, okay, is Electropolis. But however, amateur Yijie and I, okay, have highly recommended this game, right? Okay, so I'm going to change. I'm going to change one of this. I'm going to change this game. Okay, I'm going to have this unscripted choice. All right, is the Realm of Sand, a Taiwanese game, okay, by Jiahua. All right, publisher Emperor S4. Okay. So what is Realm of Sand about? All right. It's very simple. Okay, each player, you will get a Tetris-shaped token. Okay, and place it on your player board, whereby each player have a different area, you know, in the player board. Okay, so you will have to fill up this. You have to fill up your area. Okay, with this Tetris-shaped look-alike thing. Okay, and you can actually, you know, achieve some objectives according to the terrain, the pattern placed, okay, in your player board. All right, and you can also earn some, you can earn points, you can earn some other bonuses. All right, and then, you know, whoever got the most points wins. All right, yeah. So this game, right? Okay, is one of the puzzle games that you can strategically plan ahead. You know, how are you going to prepare space, placing your Tetris shapes? You know, how are you going to manage the patterns? You know, how are you going to make use of single patterns? All right, because at each player's turn, you can either, you know, take the Tetris shape, or you can place that one single color token, you know, to achieve various objectives. All right, yeah. So if you ask me, right, okay, as a game host, it's actually quite easy to teach. And when you teach the game, right, okay, you can actually, you know, you can actually, you know, teach during the first round. You just basically need a single round for everyone to understand. So it's quite easy to teach, quite easy to learn, and it's challenging to master. All right, yeah. And throughout my top 5 list, right, okay, I do mention a lot of planning games, you know, a lot of the strategic factors, a lot of thinking one. You know, I'm avoiding the social deduction. I'm avoiding the dexterity games, right? Yeah, because I'm a person who enjoys a lot of Euro games. So such games usually I'm more in favor of such games. Yeah. So the last game on my list, all right, Realms of Sand, is unscripted. All right. I will also recommend this game. Yeah. Do try it out.
Right, Steve, back to you.
Okay, so for the final game in my list, it's also a Taiwanese design game. Also published by the same publisher that published Realm of Sand. It's called Trial of the Temples. And it's a relatively recent game where basically players are going through the trial of the temples. Yeah. So in this game, it's a I split you choose game where players must get gems and use those gems to advance on tracks in the center. And those tracks might also give you cubes, which will help you improve your own player board in your own resource generating engine. So what I like about this game is that it has a very interesting implementation of the I split you choose, where instead of the player just splitting the, so to say, pie at the start. You actually choose where you want to go on the pie, and your character, your little wizard meeple, helps you split the pie into various pieces, and from there, players will also choose where they want to go to get resources, and it's almost very cutthroat from the first player to the last player, where the first player, depending on where you put, you might just give yourself a very bad disadvantage, and then other players will just block you out everywhere, and then you get no resources for the round. Whereas as the last player, you will kind of have the final say as to who will lose out, yeah, in a sense. Yeah, so it's a very interesting implementation. Then it also, of course, it's very aesthetically pleasing. But okay, one con I would say about this game is that I didn't really feel the theme. I didn't really feel anything like, the art is there, but I don't really feel anything like about the trial of the temples, like where are the temples, what's going on, who are we. So this probably the only con I would say about the game, because everything else is really great. The art, the gameplay, mechanics, all weave very well together. Yeah. So Trial of the Temples by Emperor S4. Great game.
All right. So Yijie.
Okay, actually, there's one game I actually wanted to play for a long time, right? But I still have not played it yet, so I cannot recommend it. But just put it up there. Three Kingdoms Redux. But I've not played it yet because you need exactly 3 players, right? And you cannot have more, cannot have less.
A worker placement game, yeah.
Yeah. So for my last pick recommendation would be Yijie. The year is unknown, and supposedly from China. So it's a great strategic game. So the aim of the game is to control territory. So we'll be like playing pieces throughout the game, right? Trying to capture territory and capture areas. It's a 2-player game. It takes about 1 to maybe 3 hours. So it's quite long. But yeah, I have to represent the Singapore Weiqi Association. Yeah. But anyway, so that's my final recommendation. It's a very good strategy game, and it teaches you a lot of things, and it's good for children development. So again, with the children theme, it's a really good tool. There's a lot of kids which are actually learning it now. So I would recommend it. Weiqi.
Anyway, it's also known as Go. Geo, so just in case you're watching and you're wondering what Weiqi is, yeah, Weiqi is Go. And funny thing on Board Game Geeks, they actually listed Weiqi or Go, right, to be originated from negative to 2200. Instead of
I saw that also.
Year 2019, year 2020, they put negative 2200. So that's just how it is. So okay, Jimmy, so how many of these games you gonna get?
To be honest, like I'm really quite a shopaholic. So after hearing so many of these games, right, I got like really excited. And like I said, I never knew there was the Asian board gaming scene, and I didn't know there were like Singapore game developers. And to be like in a series with one of them, I mean with all of you guys, it's really exciting for me. I do have a friend who likes cats. So when I saw Cat Venture, right, then I immediately go and ping her, say, hey, have you seen this game before? She said no. Then she said, okay, after COVID, we will play together. I'll go and buy that. And I think for me, I'm really interested to try out the Singapore games. I personally like to support the Singapore community. So I'm really, really excited to really just try out the games here. I personally did play Mashikuro before. So, but I think that's quote unquote mainstream. To be honest, I don't even know how did you guys get Taiwanese games or Japanese games. I was shocked that they were also creating games as well. So representing, I mean, just the Singapore scene, I really didn't know there were like so many board games within Asia itself. So yeah, it's a big eye opener when everyone listed up their games. I was like, whatever games that you all listed, I went to Board Game Geek and said, oh, that's quite interesting. I didn't know that as well. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully after COVID, we can just quickly play. I'll buy a few and then play my family now as well. And Yijie, obviously, I think you're the game right of Singapore. you like to play, you like to target children. Like all your game is all like for kids. So that's a great list for me because for me, I want to use board games to teach my sons how to play and interact. I think it's the best way to teach your children using board games. Because sometimes just like teaching them, using like workbooks, all this is not fun. Yeah. So really, thanks for this series. I think it's really interesting. All the games. So I think I'm gonna like take note of every single one of them, and then I'm gonna try it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are like Jimmy, stay tuned to Amateur Board Gamers, our Little Board Gamer and Asia Board Gamer series, because then you get to see more of the newer games that are out there meant for children and coming out from the Asian market. So today we introduced, I think, at least 19 plus one grey Asian game. Okay lah, I won't say 19 18 because Wei Qi and Go I don't think requires any introduction to most of you you probably have seen the board before somewhere in your life. Mm-hmm. So we hope this has been useful for you, and so I'd like to thank all my various handsome long-haired panelists. So we hope to do more of this in future, and you have any other ideas of what are the what other teams you want us to do on our top 5, or just what we should call this series, do comment below. Let us know what you want this to be named as, and what other things you want to see from us. So if you like videos like this, do subscribe to us, check out more of our videos at the site, and give the video a like, share with your friends, and stay safe, enjoy more Asian games, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.